Thank you. Good evening. And I was looking at my human billboards. I love this. If anybody needs a T-shirt, I've got them in my trunk of my car. I can't get groceries in there or anything else, but I have all of my campaign signs and everything else. My husband and I laugh about that. I always say, "Can I use your car? I'm going to the store." There's no room for anything else. Anyway, good evening. I have some of my rock pieces out by the front if you'd like to look at those. One of the nice things that I am so thankful for the Republican Women's Clubs for is they came to me and said, "Barbara, I don't have a clue what the Secretary of State does. When you put something out, would you please explain to me what it is?" So yes, on one of the sides we put the responsibilities of the Secretary of State so you can understand it, and also there is a lot to it. It's not as simple as it looks. There is quite a bit. When you go on my website, which is Cegavske FORSOS.com, you'll also see this exact same thing on line 2, so you can read it. But that was one of the things that was very important to me, was to find out exactly what the responsibilities are, how they fit in, how I fit into that. And when people talk to you and ask you, why vote for Barbara Cegavske, you can say there's 3 main reasons. Number 1, she's been in Nevada for 40 years. Barbara knows Nevada. Thank you. I've been around just for this particular race 3 times. I've already had 3 times around the state of Nevada in all the counties. And the base feels solid. I feel really, really good about this opportunity for us. The second one is, I'm a small business person. Not only was I raised with a family, with small business, but my husband and I and our kids had a small convenience store for 13 years. So I know Nevada businesses, I know what it takes, I know what it's like to have fees and taxes put on you continuously as a small business. I understand that. So what do we need to do in the state of Nevada? We need to make sure that our Secretary of State fees and taxes are competitive, not only with the western states, but with our nation. Because you can get a LLC in New Mexico for $100 and it costs $400 in Nevada. That's not competitive. I've had 18 years, this is my 18th year as a public servant. People say, "Are you a politician, Barbara?" I say I'm a public servant, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm very honored that my constituents have continuously put me in a position to serve the state of Nevada. Not only do I represent District 8 as a senator, I was also an assemblywoman, and I represented Assembly District 5. But when I was in both of those positions, as I am today, I represented the state. There's 63 of us up there, and every single one of us is responsible for looking out for the entire state. That is very, very important to everybody. And I don't care where you are, there's 21 senators, there's 42 assembly people, and every single one of us needs to read every bill that comes through to us that we vote on. Now, there is some language in some of those that gets changed. And when people say, the concept of this was, and you voted against it, and I said, did you read the amendments? No, they didn't know about the amendments. The amendments come at the last minute, at the last second. They can come on the floor. Things are voted out, and people don't understand that there's been, it looks like one of those Christmas trees, or you call it the kitchen sink, decorations. All of those things happen when you're voting. So you need to make sure that when you're criticizing anybody for a vote, find out why they voted for or against something based on what the amendments were. And that's very, very important, because there can be a lot of gamesmanship. And that's one of the reasons why we need people in our constitutional offices that have experience, especially business experience, legislative experience, and have been in Nevada for a length of time. I think that's very, very important. Those are the 3 things that I ask you to carry out to anybody that says, who do I vote for Secretary of State? You say, I've got 3 really good reasons why you should vote for Barbara Cegavske. My husband and I have been married for 34 years. We have 2 grown sons and 5 grandkids. Very, very proud of all of them. The last present we got from our son was a set of twin girls, and they're now 5 months old. So we're very proud of all of them. So yeah, it's very exciting to be a grandparent. Never thought of that, just thought of how exciting it was to be a parent. I was very, very proud to be a parent, and then when you become a grandparent, many of you know it's a whole different ballgame because you could spoil them and then say, okay, time to go home to mom and dad, right? It's fun. But I really do enjoy that. I don't know of anything else that I could add. I'd rather have time for questions. If you have anything that you'd like to ask me, if we have time for that. Okay, we'll take a couple questions from you. And again, I want to thank my human billboards. Again, we have T-shirts out in the trunk of that car, and I'll be more than happy to pass on more. So thank you, ladies, for being here with shirts on. Yes?
Do you have a stance on Common Core?
Do I have a stance on Common Core? Federal government, stay out of my business. I'm a states' rights person and do wholeheartedly believe. Now, I was a part of, when they first started, and it wasn't called Common Core, we were looking at the standards. And it was just the states were getting together. We were disbanded by the federal government. But we were looking for it as just the states. But once it got into the federal hands and they started messing with it, it was a whole different story. Yes?
What would you do regarding voter fraud, to eliminate voter fraud?
Thank you very much. Voter fraud. That is a huge, huge door. A huge door. Is there voter fraud? I'll hear some people say, oh no. Now, do I think we have really good clerks and voter registrars? Yes, I think they do the best they can. But when you hear about Target, when you hear about the invasion at the Sands, the Venetian, people have been hacked into, you know anything can happen. Anything can happen. When you have people, I think I read in the newspaper today, there was a guy that was with all of his cronies who hacked into everything. They actually let him out early because he turned state's evidence on everybody else, got them all jail time. He served 7 months and helped the government prevent their several agencies, national agencies, prevent being hacked into. So you know that there's somebody out there that's still working on it, it's still happening. So in any, I don't care what we do, I was one of the victims of Target. I had to go to the bank and I had to get my card changed, had to watch our checking account because I had been there during that period of time. And I don't think anything happened with that, but the fact that they could do it and get into our information is not fun. So I do believe it can happen. We have to stay vigilant. You have to keep checking all of the time, and we have to have the best we can with IT within the departments, and then the people that are working in the 17 counties, constantly, you have to know that you keep checking and verifying. It's very, very important. Pardon?
What about voter ID?
I am very supportive. I have no problem. And every time I vote, I go in and show my driver's license. I have no problem with that. And frankly, I don't understand the argument at all. That argument to me doesn't set well, because if you're on any public subsidies, you have to show identification. So I don't know who we're disenfranchising, to be honest, unless just the illegal voters. That's the only thing I can think of, that we're not giving them a fair shake. I don't get that. So I think there was one more. Was there somebody over here that had a question? Okay. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to see all of you. God bless you. Thank you.
We've got some great candidates this year. We really do.